Hello, so we are going to cover the consequences of conflict. This is just one small portion within your book. I really encourage you to be looking at your reading and going through this information because it goes through it obviously a little more in depth. And so the first thing we're going to talk about just in general is conflict. And there are myths and truths with conflict. And a lot of times we look at conflict as always something that is difficult and something we don't want to deal with. But in all actuality, conflict can be positive or negative. Another myth surrounding conflict is that it cannot be motivating or inspiring, which in truth, if you think about it, if there is healthy conflict within a workplace or a personal relationship, conflict can be both motivating and inspiring, especially when it is received and treated appropriately by the members who are within a conflicting situation or a situation that is laced with heavy conflict. The other idea is that conflict will always tear people apart. And in truth, it can bring groups together, it can increase collaboration, cohesion, effectiveness within an organization, within a team, within even a classroom, or within a family. And again, the reading will cover even a little bit more, but in much deeper and further parts of the unit that we'll go over. We'll cover this too. When conflict is approached in a healthy way, it really you can see some really good effects. And so there's different types of conflict. Interpersonal conflict is within a person because he or she is motivated and engaged in two or more activities that are incompatible. So I want to go to dinner tonight with my friends, but I also have a massive test tomorrow. And what is that type of, there's that push and pull going on inside. Or, my friend asked me this particular question, and I can answer truthfully, or I could tell a little white lie. Is this an issue? Is it not an issue? There's that interpersonal conflict that's going on. There's also interpersonal. So this is between two or more people who interact and have incompatible goals, styles, or values. So you're working on a group project, and there are multiple different approaches that team members can take, and this can often breed conflict. And just to insert some commentary there, if there is healthy conflict, at the end of the day, you could sharpen each other and end up with a much better project. There's intragroup, and so this is when you start to get into groups of people, and then intergroup. And so this is when there's external groups, and so different departments within an organization. Oftentimes you'll find this between a sales team and a marketing team, and they both have the best of intentions, but it clearly is they have different approaches or different opinions on how to get there. So the consequences of conflict. So there's benefits. High energy. You focus on the task. Stimulate innovation, increase in-group communication, in-group cohesion, and also discussion of issues. Some disadvantages are obviously you can be so focused on conflict that it's impossible to get through. You're concerned with winning at all costs. This is where it gets, conflict can be potentially even dangerous. Really push ethical boundaries. There's distorted judgment, lack of cooperation. And so as we dive deeper into this, I'm going to be asking for very specific opinions and experiences that you've had, and where you can see this type of conflict being positive or negative for the person or persons going through the conflict.